Hey everybody, you are the proud new owner of a dashboard guide rail bracket set, and in this video we'll talk about how to put it together. So you open your box, you scan this QR code, and here you are watching the video. So on the back of this card you also have a diagram about mounting holes for different tables. This card is just sort of a greeting and some pictures. So let's set that over here. Now this is what you have once you've unpacked the box. So we have a base plate, a riser, a pivot plate, and an axle assembly, and a pressure bar for the rear guide rail bracket. For the front, you have a base plate, a riser, a pin block, and a pin plate. You also have this hardware. So you've got two universal setup blocks, small bag of thread lock, a couple of bench dogs, 4 T-bolts. Now, this is a pin cert. And you have 8 blue knobs and 1 plastic knob. So what we're gonna do is just take one of those blue knobs away, use it for something else, up to you, and replace it with this plastic knob. Because we are in a sort of transition between types of hardware, and in this case, this knob will be necessary for your set. So we have a couple big metal washers, some long screws with undercut heads. There's 2 of those. Special bolt here that will go with the pressure bar. 4 normal flathead screws, 2 short flathead screws that have undercut heads. This is your locating pin, the screw that goes with it. These 2 screws go on the pin plate. You also have a wrench and another wrench, some washers, 6 washers. These special screws with the washer heads are only relevant if you're using your guide rail bracket on the Festool MFT3. If you're not, use them for something else, get rid of them, whatever you like. Now, the tools you'll need to do this, the wrenches that came with it. This is a 5/32 hex, 4mm is also good. Number 3 Phillips. And a normal number 2 Phillips is also good. I like to use a T-handle. For a lot of this, you might find it easier if you have one lying around. Otherwise, the regular hex wrench is fine. So let's move on to the next step. Okay, let's start with the front guide rail bracket. First thing to do is you want to install these long screws, which we call the center studs, in the base plate. In this case, you definitely want to use the thread lock. And while I'm not going to put it on in the course of this video, this is how you should do it. You put it on the screw, and that's just those last 4 threads or so, not in the hole. If you put it in the hole, then the screw will carry it through and make a mess and kind of work against itself later. So only put it on the screw. So we'll just start by going right in the back of the base plate, and you can just thread that in, no problem, by hand. And this is where you're going to use the number 3 Phillips right here, because it's a big screw, got a big opening. You want to make that super tight, and that's all set. The next thing to do is take the pin block and mount it to the riser. So you will use these 2 of these 4 flathead screws, and I recommend, if you want to use thread lock here, putting it in the hole, not on the screw. Just keeps things cleaner as you go. And you don't have to, it's up to you. Whether you feel more comfortable doing it one way or another, it's up to you. So now let's just line those up. And take your hex wrench, just get one started and see if we can find the other one, and there it goes. So now make those nice and tight. And then that is all set. So now let's put this on the base plate to make the next step a little bit easier. So these only go together one way. As you can see, it's sort of a tongue and groove thing. So just place that like so. Now take one of the plastic washers, just go over the stud, and one of the blue knobs right on there. So that's going to govern your up and down motion to accommodate different thicknesses of workpiece. So for this point, you might want to just flush them up on the bottom so it stands up nice and easy. And in this case, let's face it toward you, the operator. This is the front of the table. This is the front guide rail bracket. The last big step is to put the pin plate on the pin block. For that, we're going to use these two small screws with the undercut heads. So that just goes right in here. Now remember, this notch is going to go over on your right side. Take the regular Phillips screw, and in this case, screwdriver, sorry. In this case, whether you decide to use thread lock on these is up to you, because in rare cases, a customer will end up bending this plate and need a replacement. If you use this thread lock, which is very high strength stuff, it will be difficult to get these screws out. So it's up to you. So let's just get that right started in there. And before I get fully tight, I'm going to grab the other one, just like the other parts I put together earlier. So the whole thing kind of stands up on its own now, which makes it just easier to do this. And you will want to make that nice and tight. Okay, so there's one more thing to do, which is install the locating pin with its screw. So we have two holes here, as you can see, for Festool style rails, which means Festool, PowerTech, Makita, Milwaukee, all those similar things. They're basically all the same rail as far as their dimensions and their location of their slot goes. You're going to use this hole. Okay, so in this case, speaking of thread lock again, it's another question: do you or do you not? If you ever need to get this pin off, let's say that you wanted to change rail types, like if you wanted to use switch to a DeWalt rail or something at a different point in time, you would not use thread lock because it'll be impossible to get this off. But if you feel like you're sticking with the rail you have, just go like that, okay? And maybe you do want to use thread lock. It's up to you, like I said. It's also a good idea to just periodically check these fasteners if you work a lot with this stuff. See that they're tight. So now we're going to install the mounting hardware as the final step. Take a look at this diagram and you'll see holes designated for various kinds of tables. In this case, I'm just going to use the top set of holes, which is suitable for a dashboard bench. So just put the T-bolt through the top set of holes, put a black plastic washer on and a blue knob here. Same thing on the other side. This is all ready to be mounted and used. Now let's move on to the rear bracket. So we're back with the base plate. I've already installed the center stud with the thread lock as described here. So that is all set to go. And we will mount the axle yoke assembly on the riser. So you want to make sure that this cutout is facing down when you put these together. So it's going to look like that. So same as before, and you're going to use these flathead screws. Find one, get it started, and do the other one. Just like so. Okay, so that's all set. Now, again, you will find it easy to do this next step if the riser and the base plate are put together. So if you are, it's important to note at this point, if you're using the guide rail brackets on a dashboard bench, for the rear bracket, you want to assemble it so that the notch is facing up. For anything else, notch is down. Since I'm putting this together for a dashboard, I'm going to do it with the notch up. So the riser goes on like this. Plastic washer. In this case, we are using a plastic knob in this one spot only. Okay, so again, let's just get this so in this sort of in a spot where it will kind of stand up. Tighten that down, make this a little bit easier. Now, you'll notice that the axle yoke assembly is a little bit loose. It's on purpose because you're going to adjust that tension yourself. But before we do that, let's put the plate on And again, this is how you'll see it from the back of the table. So there really is only one way to do this. Plate fits like this. And we're going to use these 2 short screws with the undercut heads. You definitely want to use thread lock on these. In this case, I don't care if you put it on the screw or in the hole, but make sure you use it because this is where all the action is right here. A lot of leverage from going back and forth, up and down with your guide rail. So definitely use that. And again, this is a place where you use the number 3 Phillips. So that goes in there like so, and you are going to want to crank that down as soon as I get the other one in. So make that good and tight. Okay, so that's nice and secure. So you'll see now, this is kind of loose, right? So you're going to adjust this probably tighter than you think you need to, because once you can put a rail on here, there's an awful lot of leverage happening and you don't want the thing to sort of just flop up and down. You would like to have a little bit of resistance to gravity and its own weight. Some people use really long rails on these, so you'll have to adjust that to your own preference, but that's what we have this wrench for, and your hex wrench that came with it. So you're going to want to tighten that, like I said, probably tighter than you think it should be, but you want to make sure that it's got some resistance in it. Okay, and you can adjust that later to your preference once you're installed on a table and you have a rail on it. So the last step is we're going to put pressure bar on. And in this case, I am assembling it for a Festool style rail, which means we're going to use this row of holes for the pressure bar. And so you're just going to put that through with the 2 studs toward the back in those holes. And now, one last place where you're going to use thread lock is on this screw, button head. And you do want to put it probably in the hole here, or in the screw. I don't think it really matters in this case. And what this screw does is it has nothing to do with holding your rail to the bracket. It only limits how far this bar can move. So you will never tighten this again beyond that, bringing it flush with the top of the pressure bar, okay? And that's why you want to use thread lock on it, so it stays put. Keep in mind, it will take a little while for the thread lock to set up after your initial assembly. So just give it some time, and it should never fall out. So now, take the big washers, put them on the studs, blue knobs here, and here, so you can see, once we get this going, that the bar can then move like this. And the idea is that you can lift it enough to slide the rail on easily, but then when you tighten it down, it's going to be really solid, just like that. So these 2 knobs are what are applying the pressure to the pressure bar, and this one again only governs how far you can lift it. So that is ready to go. We will again install the mounting hardware. Again, in the top set of holes, this is dashboard setting. And again, refer to the card when you're talking about your specific table to which you will mount it. But it's all very simple. T-bolt the top set of holes, plastic washer and blue knob. And then once this is ready to go, you're all set to mount that on your table and use it to make great cuts. Now, don't forget to install the pinsert in your rail so that it drops down on the pin on the front bracket. That's what it's for. The reason we have this is that the slots in various rails between brand and individually within brand will vary. So we're just taking out the question mark there, and you install this in the rail, it fits perfectly on the pin. And when you drop your rail on the front bracket, there's no side-to-side play. Use this, okay? So now you have 2 fully assembled guide rail brackets and you're ready to go to work. Thanks for watching.